Full disclosure, this video is going to be one of those negative talking about how annoying YouTube can be sometimes videos. But also I want to preface by saying that it's not all depressing and doom and gloom. If you get with me through this first chunk, at the end of the video I have some really cool stuff to share with you and someone awesome to introduce you to, which is also part of a really awesome story that I think helps balance out the negative crap I'm going to talk about. But I really feel like I need to get this stuff off my chest. So here goes. I'm making this video in response to this whole Logan Paul making a video about a dead guy in the suicide forest in Japan situation. Now, I briefly reacted to that a couple of days ago and said I was just going to leave it there. And I'm not going to talk about him or his video in this video. I want to talk about YouTube's response or lack of response in this video. Because of their actions or inactions, I am for the first time fearful of the future of YouTube. And I say that with some heaviness in my heart because I'm an optimist and I have always seen the best in YouTube, even when things have been really crappy. So let's rewind to almost a year ago. PewDiePie makes a pretty contentious sort of video that reasonably upsets some people and advertisers start running away. Now, obviously, there was some pretty vicious corralling and overreacting from traditional media in almost an aggressive anti-YouTube response, just because I think new media scares old media a bit and they use this as a catalyst to try and strong-arm the industry a bit. And it sort of works because YouTube obviously hugely prioritized advertisers, made a whole bunch of changes and really slapped PewDiePie down, took stuff away from him, and yeah, that situation was a big conflict, but I didn't even feel worried through all of that, just because I felt like, you know what, yeah, advertisers can say that they're going to run away. Let's say Coke or Pepsi or whatever runs away. Their competitors are going to advertise on YouTube and do better. And then they'll have to come back to YouTube because at the end of the day, YouTube is where the attention is, it's growing, it's huge, it's strong, and it's an amazing platform. And regardless of some of the kinks and some of the issues and controversies that do and will emerge on the platform, the strength is there and the potential is there in a way that it isn't anywhere else. So I wasn't shaken, I wasn't fearful for the future of the platform at all. The next adpocalypse comes along, which is what, 3 months ago? Advertisers started freaking out and pulling out again out of YouTube in response to children's content or so-called children's content. Content on YouTube that was being branded as children's content and shown to and recommended for children that was very dodgy and not good. So again, YouTube responds, ups the amount of people they put into their reviewing flagging system, puts a whole bunch more money into the content ID system and all that stuff. And again, was not fearful for the platform. I didn't see a long-term problem. I saw it leading to an eventual better place. And now we arrive to the situation that's happened in the last week. Now, I don't want to go into any detail or too much about this whole Logan Paul video, but the reason I'm really shaken by this is because of YouTube's response. There are systems for dealing with awful content on this platform. The first line of defense is the algorithmic detection, the machine learned content analysis stuff they have in place to find nudity and language and stuff and say, slap, that's not advertiser friendly, slap, that's related to something extremist, we're gonna take it off or demonetize it or whatever. That's the first line of defense. And a lot of people as a result of that experience these not suitable for advertiser things that they can get manually reviewed, which brings me to the next 2 lines of defense, the flagging and analysis. So, you know, people can flag content and then the manual reviewing. So you can request it be reviewed or people can review a video. The issue I have is that this horrible Logan Paul video showing a dead body and taking light out of something as horrific as suicide just zoomed past both of these safety nets. The first one I completely understand. The first one, there's only so much learning a machine learning system can do and be good. At least, where we are in history now. But the second, that video was flagged and it was approved. That's messed up. Someone who works for YouTube, who is employed by YouTube to review content, approved it. My problem is, if that were a video by anyone other than Logan Paul, it would have been in trouble. And that's the point I'm trying to make in this video. That's why I fear for the future of this platform. It's not specifically the content that got through the system, it's that the content got through the system because it was Logan Paul's content. That's scary. That's, you know, in a lot of ways. And I understand the content even getting past an employee who maybe doesn't give a crap about the content they're reviewing and just approves everything. YouTube was made very aware of this situation, and the person to delete it was Logan Paul, and the person to react to it was Logan Paul. Whether you consider his apology authentic or not is beside the point. YouTube's response was a deflection. It was, instead of saying, oh, this happened, let's create some consequences, let's just make sure this never happens again, or that this person has actual restrictions in place or something that anyone else on the platform would face in the same circumstances. In response, YouTube simply said, oh, we don't approve of that kind of content, and we also donate to suicide charities. That's it. That's what, yeah. So my fear comes from the fact that in response, or lack of response to the situation, YouTube have told us loud and clear that the rampant favoritism on this platform is guided by the almighty dollar, not only from advertisers above creators, but also creators above creators. And that's a big problem, because that not only means that the big creators have the shot at building something sustainable and being innovators where smaller creators don't, it also means that big creators can be shocking to the point where nothing is unacceptable and everyone else has to battle to make anything, even if it's not shocking. Case in point, I happen to have 2 regular channels that I create content on. This is my small channel. This is Daily Jazza, my less than 200,000 subscriber as of this point channel, where I battle advertiser restrictions fairly constantly. At least once or twice a week, we have videos on this vlog channel that get not advertiser friendly, that we get manually reviewed. This channel is more advertiser friendly in general than my main channel, which I sort of have more innuendo jokes than I probably should, but my main channel, which has over 2.3 million subscribers, never gets flagged, ever. That says to me loud and clear that of those 2 channels that I have, one of those is the favorite. I understand why. I make my living off of that channel, but it also pays YouTube, where this smaller channel doesn't. YouTube's lack of response to this whole Logan Paul video controversy is really disheartening, because it shows that they make their decisions blatantly based on money and marketability. I knew that when it came to advertisers being prioritized above creators, but I at least hoped that the respect for creators as a whole was whole enough that we were all on a level playing field to a certain extent. When situations like this happens, when Logan Paul creates a video so disgusting and disruptive, the response from YouTube is just to shake it off, because he has over 1.2 million subscribers in the last 30 days. He has over 320 million views in the last 30 days. And at the time that he uploaded the controversial video, he got less subscribers than the ridiculously huge amount of subscribers he gets every day. I think he made like 16,000 subscribers or something. And then the next day, he got like double the big amount of subscribers he usually gets. 80,000 subscribers in a single day. Which brings me to my next point. In a Philly D video talking about this whole situation, he described his intent to try and make this situation into a learning or a teaching moment. My problem is, this is a teaching moment whether you like it or not, and there are lessons being taught that people are taking in, whether they watch Philly D's video or not, or suicide awareness is actually a good conversation that comes about as a result of this or not. We have learnt the lesson from Logan Paul that if you are a content creator, nothing is too shocking. And if you can weather the storm, and if you can be just shocking enough to not get your channel deleted, but to outrage people, you'll be rewarded in the end. That's the lesson that people will learn from this situation, because people want to be Logan Paul. Millions of people want to do what he's doing, and they're going to emulate him, and that terrifies me, because I fear this is going to create a wave of irresponsible, unthoughtful content like never before. That's always been something of a plague on YouTube, but never something that has been the heart and soul of YouTube. Because heart and soul of YouTube has always felt somewhat pure to me, but this feels like it taints it. The other lesson, unfortunately, that is learnt from this is what is taught from YouTube, who's direct in response to the situation teaches us that if you are big enough, or specifically, if you make them enough money, they'll happily look the other way and shake it off and weather the storm with you. Because the amount of money that they have put into Logan Paul's YouTube Red originals and advertising those, you know, it's more important to them to make sure they get a return on their investment than to make sure that the integrity of their platform is maintained for everyone. Also, just want to add here that it's really disconcerting to know about YouTube/Google that while they're not responding or reacting, that they would immediately were advertisers the ones freaking out. It also seems really hypocritical from a company that vocally supports net neutrality that isn't supporting creator neutrality on their own platform. Essentially facilitating highways of approval for their favorites and blockages for all the people who aren't serving them or giving them enough. So that's all I have to say on this. I don't have an answer. For the Adpocalypse stuff, I felt like I had an answer. For this stuff, I worry because I don't feel like I have an answer. And the answer I can hope for is that the self-policing of the actual authentic community and creators on YouTube will cut out the disease, and that over time integrity wins and authentic creativity wins. But I'm worried. I am an optimist naturally. I'm always an optimist, but this is a situation that has had me feeling pretty dirty for the platform as a whole. And my only hope moving forward is that people like yourselves watching this, like me and other creators who do what I do from, you know, a place of something a little less mediocre and exploitative. I hope that we can keep the heart and soul that we believe YouTube to be as pure and whole, even if YouTube itself sometimes doesn't make the right decisions to empower that. That being said, I want to wrap up this part of the video with a bit of good stuff. I'm getting a visit today from another YouTuber, and this is a really cool story. So back several years ago, we got contacted by someone called Riley from a sailing channel called Sailing La Vagabonde. Now that's a whole epic saga over on their channel, which I encourage you to check out. I'll put the link in the description to Sailing La Vagabonde. They are these two sailors, Riley and Elena, who, when I say sailors, they've sort of just learnt as they've gone. They bought this sailing boat, called it La Vagabonde, and just went out and sailed the world and made content. We first met him because he found a random video I made on my channel about MCNs, which probably, you know, didn't serve a lot of people in my audience, but it was something I was passionate about, much like making this video, you know, and he found the MCN video and contacted us and said, we've been contacted by MCNs, can we chat about this? I have some questions. And we did a Google Hangout call when he was in Fiji with horrible internet, just talking about MCNs, and over the years I've watched their content, and it's been cool because I've sort of gone on the ride with them and we've chatted with them over the years just about YouTube and just being creators supporting each other, even though our content couldn't be further apart or more different, and our audiences couldn't be more like estranged from each other in a way. But at the same time, we are in the same boat, so to speak. Yeah, did you like my pun? In the same boat. He's a sailor! Riley's been sailing around the world. He's been in the Mediterranean. They've just come back, visited family over Christmas and stuff, and they're flying in to visit us for a day and then flying out. Like, just for that. Like, it's just such a small world. and it's amazing. So I'm looking forward to introducing you to him. This is the start of the day for me. I'm gonna get to work and finish off some videos and all that stuff, but this video is obviously not really about that. There's not much interesting to show anyway, so that's really the end of this part of the vlog. But I'll wrap up here, skip the question of the day, we'll get back to that next week, and I want to introduce you to my friend Riley at the end of the day, so I'll pick it up there.
Get off my lawn. How you going, mate? Yeah, good. Yeah. Come on in. Great to see you. There you go.
Oh, he's vlogging.
Wow.
Okay, so I would like to... Two beers in.
Start again.
I'd like to introduce you to some friends of mine. This is Riley from Sailing with Vagabonde.
There he is.
I'll put the link in the description of their channel, but the fact that he is here in Australia is uncommon, even though he's from Adelaide, because where were you last when you...
The Canary Islands.
There you go. And we last spoke to you in Tahiti, and he's just been all around the world. And this is his mate, Dave. They both went to school together. And it's just, yeah.
Nice to have them here to talk YouTube talk.
Yeah.
YouTube talk.
Thanks for having us over.
Yeah,
it was a wonderful
Just
pasta.
FYI, just the meeting you guys thing is tacked on at the end of a ranting about the sad state of YouTube at the moment. Oh, thank you.
That has to go in.
Was that there the whole time?
Food on his
You
face.
could have told me that when you read.
I didn't see
The
it.
other side, it was on my side.
I didn't see it. We're not the most glamorous.
So we've had a lovely evening. We've had some drinks and chats and all that. But I thought it would be nice to wrap up today by I don't know. I think Riley's a bit. He misses the sea. So I thought I'd take him through to the ocean on the old virtual reality headset. I actually bought a VR sailing game just for him, which I've never seen or played before, but I thought we could hook up and put him into and see how it goes. What do you reckon?
Freaked out by this guy over here. Who's this?
That's my mount. I put this thing on there. So you're on a dock.
Yeah. There's my shit.
There's your boat. There's your sailboat. So try that teleport thing. This is a very in development game.
This is actually pretty good.
Yeah. Pretty good?
Pull the rope, yeah. You gotta pull the trigger.
Oh, it actually, as I go, I think I can walk through the sail.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fall off the boat though. But the boat actually tips.
Oh, are you kidding? Oh, that's trippy. Is that weird?
Oh. That's crazy.
So did the controls feel alright?
Yeah, they feel great. We're hooking, see that? And we're going to tack,
really cool.
so I want everyone to just duck their heads, tack in. Oh, yeah, I'm tacking.
Jeez, isn't that interesting that you can predict that it's going to do that? Do you get a sense for how the wind's reacting because of how the sail's reacting?
Where the wind is there, I know that it's just skimming off that sail.
Is it behaving how you'd expect a little
Yeah,
sail?
it's like eerie.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That was just all downwind. That's pretty cool. Does anyone else want to have a go?
Do you want to try some different VR stuff?
Yeah. Can I shoot some zombies or something?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, this is insane.
There's ammo all around you. You got to pick it up though.
Don't panic though now.
Don't lose all your ammo.
They've got helmets on.
Did you want to go, Riley?
It's so scary when they're actually attacking you.
I'm really keen to have another go.
Oh, look at the confidence.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a wall. That'll happen to you sometimes.
Jesus.
So how would you describe it? Because you haven't used this before today.
It's the most real thing that I have ever encountered. I think it would be magnificent.
Except for reality.
No, it's more real than reality. I think it would be amazing for education, or sports, or probably a whole lot of different things. Ooh.
Hey, is that door open now? No, look to your left. Did you open that?
They probably opened when.
Oh!